let's say, put yourself in this scenario.
Okay.
You're on The View.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
And
you've been on The View.
Right?
You've gone through this.
I have been on The View. I have. Mm-hmm. I have. So you're on The View, and it's Easter Friday. It's Good Friday. What, Joy says something to you. Your response is,
shut up, Joy, you fat witch.
No, that would not. No, it's, again, Good Friday. So,
okay.
Whoopi
and
says
Whoopi, you
to
too, you old hag.
Okay, no, that's not
the way to do it. We shouldn't do it that way on Good Friday. That's what we're trying to tell people.
We probably shouldn't do it on Average Wednesday either. You know what I mean?
No, it's true.
We probably shouldn't do that.
I will say my response was somewhat close to what you said when you were on the when you were actually on The View.
I think I was complete. No.
Well, maybe in the aftermath.
Wasn't I?
Maybe that was.
Yeah, in the aftermath. I think I tried to be nice the whole time.
Yeah. I certainly off the air. I feel like I heard that type
break.
of response at one point or another. I
mean, Well, I don't know about that. That would be wrong of me. Mm-hmm. There was a guy, though, on The View that I think we should play that does demonstrate how people better than us actually respond.
Yeah, this is Coleman Hughes, who wrote a book recently, which is a great book. It's about basically in defense of colorblindness. Hey, maybe we shouldn't abandon the idea that colorblindness is the goal here, guys. Like, I can't believe you need to write even a book about this, but he did, and it's very good. And he went on The View, and of course, I mean, they had to give him the ad hominem charlatan question, which is what you'd expect 100% from The View. When just praising the idea that we should be colorblind, this is the question he got.
Your argument for colorblindness, I think, is something that the right has co-opted. And so many in the black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's never voted for a Republican.
You've said that you're a conservative.
No,
you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did. So, but my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Those critics.
Let's give it
Stop right here. Okay. Stop right there. Your shut up, you fat witch does seem to be calling out to me for his response.
And right. And that wasn't even joy.
What I would be. Yeah. No. But just buried deep inside of me, hearing that question phrased that way, shut up, you fat witch, does seem to be an option.
And what we're trying to say on this day is that's the wrong option. That
is the wrong
what
option.
You should do. It would feel
You're
good
only
in the moment.
Human.
Yeah.
Right, you're only human. I don't think, even though Jesus was part human, I don't think that was an option that he felt. But you, me, probably would feel that way. But here's how he responded.
First thing I think it's very important. The quote that you just pointed out about doing something special for the Negro, that's from the book Why We Can't Wait that I just mentioned.
Yes.
A couple paragraphs later, he lays out exactly what that something special was, and it was the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged, a broad class-based policy.
But he also says you must include race.
No, he didn't. He says it's
Yes, he does.
Okay, well, everyone should go read the book Why We Can't Wait. Let's not get sidetracked by that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been co-opted by anyone. I've only voted twice, both for Democrats. Although I'm an independent, I would vote for a Republican, probably a non-Trump Republican if they were compelling. I don't think there's any evidence I've been co-opted by anyone, and I think that's an ad hominem tactic people use to not address really the important conversations we're having here. And I think it's better, and it would be better for everyone if we stuck to the topics rather than make it about me with no evidence that I've been co-opted.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to the criticism.
I appreciate it. There's no evidence that I've been co-opted by anyone. I have an independent podcast. I work for CNN as an analyst. I write for the Free Press. I'm independent in all of these endeavors, and no one is paying me to say what I'm saying. I'm saying it because I feel it.
So what he's saying there is, shut up, you fat witch. I think that's what I heard. Just in a very nice way.
Yeah, and it's like he's good at just dismantling it with reason, right? Like, there's no evidence that this guy has been co-opted by the right. These are arguments that we all used to agree on. Outside of the KKK, if you were not wearing a white hood, most people would say, hey, we shouldn't focus on skin color as much. And now 50% of the population, or at least 50% of our major political parties, have embraced an idea that we should only focus on race and gender and other immutable characteristics. Yeah,
right.
It's horrific that has happened under all of our watch. At least if you're on the left, you've let this happen, and you should be on the side of Coleman Hughes and pushing back against it. And there are very few that are.
It's amazing to me that the Democrats get stuck in about 1968. You know what I mean? It's like they just stopped seeing new things. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, well, you know what? That's why blacks should be able to go to school with whites. And you're like, yeah, okay, we've believed that for now 40, 50 years.
Maybe even longer.
We've been on that. Yeah, we've been on that train. White people. Again, there are still some Klan members out there that don't agree, but there's also Joy Reid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, they have decided when we in the 1960s, hey, blacks should be able to go to school with whites. The left has reversed that. They now say they should have safe spaces away from whites.
I know.
They've legitimately gone the opposite way, and they're acting as if we're the crazy ones.
I know. And we learned that my generation, I am the last of the boomer generation last year. And I grew up in a time where I didn't see color. We didn't do that. It's not, yes.
There were people
when you're in a bad section of town, you might look over your shoulder. Oh, is that because it's black? Why? Because I said a bad section of town? You all of a sudden assume that it's a black neighborhood? Who's the racist here? Who's the racist here? You just don't do that. We have gotten to a place, or we were at a place, to where we wanted to see people for the content of their character, thought that was right, and in many cases, that's the way we judged the world. And it's as if all of these radicals, as if 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2008, I think was the end of that. It's like none of those years happened. Like all of the things, all the progress we made didn't happen. We're still in 1965. In what world?
Yeah.
In what world?
Yeah, no, it's true. And you see the way that these people retreated. There was another interview that happened, it was a speech, I think, happened recently. It was part of the Free Press, which Coleman Hughes also mentioned in that clip, where they interviewed a guy who did a study, an academic who did a study on police violence against blacks. And the study came out in an interesting way, not the way the media would have believed it would come out. Now, the man who's speaking is, I misplaced his name, but he's an African-American gentleman who is describing a study he did in academic circles to talk about violence against African Americans by the police. Listen.
I collected a lot of data. We collected millions of observations on everyday use of force that wasn't lethal. We collected thousands of observations on lethal force. And it was in this moment in 2016 that I realized people lose their minds when they don't like the result. So what my paper showed, you'll see tomorrow, like some of you, was that, yes, we saw some bias in the low-level uses of force, every day pushing up against cars and things like that. People seem to like that result. But we didn't find any racial bias in police shootings. Now, that was really surprising to me because I expected to see it. The little-known fact is I had 8 full-time RAs that it took to do this over nearly a year. When I found this surprising result, I hired 8 fresh ones and redid it to make sure. They came up with the same exact answer, and I thought it was robust. And I went to go give it, and my God, all hell broke loose. It was a 104-page, dense academic economics paper with a 150-page appendix, okay?
Jeez.
It was posted for 4 minutes when I got my first email. This is full of doesn't make any sense. And I wrote back, how'd you read it that fast? That's amazing. You are a genius. And I had colleagues take me to the side and say, don't publish this. You'll ruin your career. I said, what are you talking about? I said, what's wrong with it? Do you believe the first part? Yes. Do you believe the second part? Well, the issue is they just don't fit together. We like the first one, but you should publish the second one another time. I said, let me ask this. If the second part about the police shootings, this is a literal conversation. I said to them, if the second part showed bias, do you think I should publish it then? And they say, yeah, then it would make sense. And I said, I guarantee you I'll publish it. We'll see what happens. So it was, you know, I lived under police protection for about 30 or 40 days. I had a 7-day-old daughter at the time. I remember going and shopping for it because, you know, when you have a newborn, you think you have enough diapers, you don't. So I was going to the grocery store to get diapers with an armed guard. It was crazy. It was really, truly crazy.
For just saying the truth and saying, hey, maybe police aren't intentionally trying to commit a genocide on African Americans. Like something that I think everyone in their heart actually knows. But the evidence showed that it was true. And because he published actual evidence about actual things that go on in our country, he had to live under police protection for months.
Let me just leave it at this. Shut up, you fat witch!